On Wednesday night, we all met at the school around 11:30. And we around 12 we left to go to the bus. It was about like a 3-hour drive to Philadelphia Airport. Some of us, a lot of us stayed up. Some of us slept on the bus. Um, and while we were there at the airport, our flight got delayed, so we had to wait there for a while. But teacher said that they were calling to see what all they could do, and at one point we could have had to go on 4 different flights to get there and meet up. And thankfully, we all got flights together.
Um, yeah, what she said basically, we had a lot of time in the airport and it was kind of a long travel day and everybody was pretty tired. As you can see in that picture right there, we're all waiting and we played like Mafia probably like 5 or 6 times waiting. And so that was really cool. We got to bond together in that moment. Even though we had no idea that PJ was like fine with us there. And we had to meet Noah down there. We found some hats. We didn't buy them though.
So on Thursday, we went around to people's houses and prayed for them and told them about a VBS event. And then we came back and went to a VBS event and did some stuff there with the kids. And you can see we found a dog, Bronco, and then we played with the son and had a lot of fun with that.
So up here, when we were going to houses, one of the people I remember talking to, she was talking about how her kids were lost at sea, and Pastor Rachel was praying for her, and she was just like really emotional about it. And I think that it's really cool to see how the power of God is working, how prayer influences people.
So, like they were saying, we split into a couple different groups and went out into like the towns and were talking with people. And I know our group, we probably went to, it was like this little, really small community. There were a couple houses. And so what we did was go into each house and we got to kind of talk to them and like get to know them. And then we, a couple times we were able to like share a Bible story with them or something like that. And then we would pray for them. And so a couple people, most of the people we went to, they said that they went to church kind of on a regular basis. But then one of the people, Caesar, he, as we were talking with him, he didn't have a car or anything, and so it took like an hour to get to church. So a lot of times he said that he didn't go, and he wasn't a Christian. And so it was really cool to like just be able to talk with him, and then Jaden shared a Bible story with him, and then like we got to pray with him. So that was just really cool experience to see, like just being able to talk with people.
Friday was a lot of fun. Probably one of my favorite days. But up in the top picture, we have a picture of, it was Pastor Angel's daughter, Shirley's birthday, and she turned 12. And so we got cake for them, and that was a lot of fun, and the kids all loved it. We did a Bible, a VBS for all the kids at Pastor Angel's church. And we did the Good Samaritan, which was a lot of fun. And then for lunch, we had went to Pastor Aiken's house for the first time, and that was us all sitting on his porch, which we did a lot throughout the week, which was great. The food there was really good too. We had rice, beans, and chicken all the time, and that was really good. Painting, we started painting the church that day, and this is how it started going. Great.
In the morning that day, we did some more community walks. We met this old couple. They've been married for 60 years. And and it was just really cool to talk to them. And they asked for a Bible. I don't know if we were able to get one of them, but it was really cool to see that. While we were talking, a lizard ran through with a dog with a cat so I could chase it, which was kind of funny to see.
So during this day, when we first started painting, we didn't have enough like painting supplies, and so not everybody could paint or like help out, and I was one of those people. So beginning of it, I was just kind of like walking around, trying to look for something to do, and eventually PJ came up to me. It's like, hey, these guys are starting to build a bakery that they're doing. So there's no pictures up here, but they gave me a pickaxe, and they're like, basically just said dig. And it was really awesome because they didn't really speak any English. So I was kind of like trying to figure out what to do, but it was pretty easy because I just started digging. But yeah, and that was really cool. I like that because like no matter what, like even though we don't speak the same language or we don't even understand each other sometimes, like we were all just working there. It was really cool. So that was cool to see.
Okay, so on Saturday, we went to, well, every morning at our hotel, we'd have to wake up at like 6. Just because it took a little while so we would go to the church, and that would be kind of where we met. And so this day, we actually got into 4 different trucks. Top left corner, there's one of them. We were just in a truck bed, most of us. And so we had to take, like, normally we'd be taking a van, but we had to take these trucks because we were going up to this town that they told us that, like, they had never seen Americans before, like, Americans had never been out there before. And so it was really bumpy, and, like, it was like a dirt road. So the truck that we were on, we actually went through like a creek or like a little stream, and so it was a lot of fun. So when we got up to the town, there was like a pavilion where we did a VBS, and so there are a couple pictures of it. We did David and Goliath as their skit, and then we had coloring pages and a couple of pictures. We had like a water balloon thing where like they would throw one at somebody, and then we also brought nail polish for the girls. And Kai can explain.
So we did the water balloons. I sprayed Penelope with a water balloon, and as my punishment for getting her soaked, because she did not want to get wet, they had to paint my nails.
And Owen did it because he wanted to. But something really cool about that time, so Pastor H4 and his daughters had been up there before. Like they could go up every like couple times a month just to like talk with them and like do Bible studies. While we were working with the kids, PJ got to talk with a lot of the moms that were there and just like share the gospel with them. And so I think that was really beneficial and cool.
So this was a really cool day because it was our first time doing that one skit, and I accidentally slapped Ashton in the face really hard on accident. And so that was really fun. It made it really cool. And this like whole time, I went out and I started playing with a bunch of these kids, and they were kind of getting really rough. They were like throwing balls at my face and like, trying to break me and stuff. But it was still really fun. Like I had a lot of fun with them. And I remember at the end, like this one kid was trying to talk to me, and I had to get a translator because I didn't know what he was saying. And he was like asking me if I wanted to ride his bike with him, and like I was like, oh, I can't, I have to leave. And he's like, well, when are you coming back? And I was like, oh, I can't come back. So that was really tough to like say that he could come back. And, like, these kids were really happy we were there, so it was cool to make a difference. Also, the bottom right picture, the girls decided to get all their ears pierced, like I think the night before or something like that. And because Kai and Owen got their nails pierced or nails done, they thought it would be fun if I got my ear pierced, and I was like, well, I want to see if it actually hurts or not. And honestly, it wasn't that bad, but there's that picture.
It was our busiest day. A lot of people say that it's our favorite day. So the first part, we were at church doing that. And then the second part, we went to the town center and went to like a basketball court. And on the court, we gave the Elijah skit, which we gave to all of you. So like that's why I'm lying down and why we brought the bowls with us. So we sang songs, did the skit, and then after we finished doing the skit, we set up the volleyball net, and we all played volleyball as a group.
So the place where we were at, it was like a mixture of like a soccer field and a basketball court and volleyball. So like a couple people were playing soccer, and then we started playing volleyball, and we kind of did like a tournament, kind of, there were like a couple of different teams, and then we were playing basketball and stuff for a while, so it was a lot of fun.
I blocked Grace one time. It was really cool.
This was the last day that we were with the church and Pastor Victor's family. And, we started off by painting the inside and outside of the church. And then we did the prodigal son skit, and me and Erica were pigs. And then we did some activities with the kids. They made little pig masks. And then we did water balloons. And for some reason, every single kid targeted Jaden. And this was the day that we said goodbye to everyone, and pretty much every single person cried a lot. So.
Going along with what Owen said about everybody crying, as you kind of tell, we didn't do as much construction on this trip as we might have thought, but we really got to build relationships with people, which I thought was awesome. Yeah, Owen wasn't lying. Everybody in that room, there wasn't really a dry eye in the room. But it just showed that as much of an impact as we thought we made on them, they made on us. And they might not even have realized that, but I think the impact was all around. Like, it wasn't one-sided on either side. They were so willing to give. Like, every day that we had lunch, like, they'd come out and like be so eager to like serve us. And they were, yeah, it was awesome.
So for the prodigal son skit, we had a few roles. Kai was the prodigal son, Ash was the dad, Maddie was the mom, Jaden was the honest brother, and then Penelope and I got to be prostitutes. We stole all of Kai's money and we kicked him down and stole his shoes, his glasses, all his money. We handed him alcohol to drink and such. A fun part of that skit. It wasn't real alcohol. It was like Gatorade or something.
So this is kind of because it's last day, but like a lot of the days, PJ kind of had told us that like in the past, teens didn't really like go out into the communities and like go into their houses and talk to them like as much as we did. A lot of the days, we would split up into a couple groups, and we would each like have a translator with us. And we would just get to like form relationships with people and like share Bible stories with them, and just like get to know them. So that like making relationships with them was like a big part of our whole trip. And it was really cool to see just like how kind and like welcoming they are. And they obviously did not have as much as we do. Like their houses, like they were beautiful, they were really colorful, but like they weren't like big or crazy or anything. They didn't have like windows. They had like just like small holes in their house. So to us, it would seem that they were like poor and they didn't like have as much. So like, why should they be happy? But like everybody there was so friendly and just like so welcoming to us. So it was really cool.
Okay, so you guys probably seen in like most of the slides with the kids, we have like the parachute pictures. So we did that with like almost every group of kids, and they all loved it. In this one, you can see like the balls that flew up in the air, and the kids just, they went all over the place, and the kids just would like go chase them down and throw them back in and do it again. They also like to, we'd like lift the parachute up and then they'd go underneath it. I know the first day we did that and they did not want to stop. We had to be like, we're done now, we've got to be done. We've been doing this for like a long time. But they just, I know that was like the favorite thing that I think we did with the kids that they really enjoyed.
That I don't know. I think you guys did. We were the first team from the States to actually travel up to La Cocha. It's up in the mountains. And it's the first time some of those people had ever seen even white people. And so it was neat to be able to, it was a little weird going in the back of the pickup trucks, but it's what you have to do to get there. And it was neat to support them in that way, say, hey, you guys are important enough for us to take the time to come up.
So originally, we all said that at the devotion that we really liked doing the truck rides, and PJ actually said that he was hesitant for letting us go on in the back of the trucks. But we all really loved it.
So Saturday afternoon, we continued to paint the church, and we started to paint the inside of the church on Saturday, which that was really difficult because the inside of the church was white, and we were painting it like a slightly different shade of white. And so when the paint was wet, you can see where it was, but then when it started to dry, you couldn't tell. And so we like painted like the same wall probably like 6 times because we were like, we can't tell if we missed a spot or not. So that was kind of exhausting. But so a lot of us, half of us were working on the inside, the other half was working on the outside. And so that was mostly Saturday afternoon after we got back on the trucks. Like we went back down from the boat, back to the church.
So for this watermelon picture, down here in the corner, Emily, Penny, and me, and Kelly, Mrs. Pineda, we had the opportunity to go a little bit farther into the countryside of Panama because they had to drop off a few kids, which the kids really liked going on truck beds too. But we ended up going to our truck driver's house, and we went there and she just fed us watermelon, and we stood there and just talked with them for a little bit, which was really cool. But they invited us to their home and were able to share food with us.
By the way, Colobre is the watermelon capital of Panama, perhaps the world. More watermelons are produced there than anywhere else in Panama.
And then also when we were, based Kelly and Penny were there, we were going down the road and we saw some people there. So we stopped and we actually got more people on it. So it was really cramped in the back. I'm against the tailgate. So is another lady, and I think if this tailgate is gonna fall, I'm done.
Okay, so then in church, I gotta say, when we were driving to the church, we like pulled out the songbooks, and I'm like, all right guys, we're gonna practice. So when we got there, we actually stopped, and we walked in, and there was music playing, just on a little screen. It was definitely different than here. We went outside the back of the church, and we practiced, and we saw the biggest rooster ever. Like, I don't know, that's not church related, but anyway, it was huge. I would say that this was one of the most spiritually powerful days that we saw, because when it was actually church, they started with 2 songs in Spanish. The first one was for the kids, and then the second one, Susanna, Pastor Aitor's wife, she pulled out her tambourine and she just went with it. She was like knocking it out, it was great. And her arms were just raised, like it didn't matter if she was like on key, on tune, like they were just praising God. It was the most powerful thing ever. And then we went up to worship, and I think it went pretty good. Oh, just to go back, one more thing with their songs. There was this one song, and I don't know about the other guys, but it lasted forever. It was like, there was a little screen in Spanish, and where I was standing, I couldn't read it all, which is fine, but it just showed that worship doesn't need to always be what we know. It can be what other people know and what is normal to them. It doesn't have to be normal to us. It can just be authentic. It doesn't have to be full of videos or screens, just authentic worship to God. It was a very powerful moment.
The song that she was talking about that was really long, it was probably like 15 minutes. And like Suzanne, Pastor Ainsworth's wife, was like dancing around like the entire time. Like she didn't get exhausted. She was just like the whole time dancing. And like she was saying, they had like a little like a computer, and it was like a really small projector that was just like on the wall. So that's kind of where like a lot of the words were.
And David talked about how like the whole bus ride, we were all doing songs. Well, all the bus rides before, I would just sleep because I was so tired. So I had to actually like stay up and do the songs. And then as we were getting there, PJ told us that some of us have to give like a testimony, and none of us wanted to give a testimony. So like I was like writing down stuff just in case I had to, because if no one was chosen, we get picked out. And by the time we got there, me and Grace were both like still not really wanting to give a testimony, but we both like went up and did it. So I would say like, because a lot of you guys still have a mission trip to go on. No, you're gonna have to probably give a testimony, but just go with it. It will probably turn out a lot better than you expect.
Okay, so Tuesday was our travel day, and I think we got up at like 8 in the morning. I'm not sure. Oh, well, we woke up at like 7, and every single day we would get breakfast at the hotel. But we got on the bus at around 8, and first we went to the ocean, and it was really, really pretty. It was really nice. The only bad thing was that there was a bunch of jellyfish in the water, and a few people got stung. And we got food there, and I didn't really eat the food, but that's the picture of the animals, the food. And then we got back on the bus, and we went to the Panama Canal, which, oh shoot, never mind. We went shopping first at the gift shop, which that picture on the bottom, all the way down, that was some stuff that was like a gift shop. It was really nice there. And then we all good stuff. And then we went to the Panama Canal, and at the Panama Canal, they had a movie directed by Morgan Freeman, and it's IMAX, and it's 3D. So I think that's what that top picture's from, with 3D glasses. And that movie was really cool. And then well, then we went out to eat at this restaurant, which was really nice. It was all outside. And then we went to the airport. Or no, we went to the hotel, which was really sketchy. So this is the day we traveled back. We woke up at like the same time as normal, like 6 something. And then we went at like 8:30 or something, 8:15. We went to McDonald's for breakfast, which was very greasy and not at all what you want to have for breakfast. And then after that, we decided to go to the airport, which took like 15 minutes. We weren't like far away. And then I think once we got to the airport, we waited for like hours. Our flight got delayed a little bit. Not as long as we waited till like 2 or something. And while we were waiting at the airport, like extra security, like after we'd already gone through and done our swim check, we had to go again, because I guess people from other countries went in, and they didn't have as good security, so everyone had to go through again. And if you left the area, you could go in again. After all that, we went on the first flight, which was like 4 hours. Nothing really happened. Watching other things, fall asleep. And then I think once we went to the airport in Atlanta, which is once we got back,
second flight, which I think nothing really happened. Then an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. This flight. By then it was actually like really late. It was like 10 p.m. 11 or something. But that was like when we got on the flight. When we got off the flight and we were back in Philadelphia, it was really late. And then it was like 12. And then once we got out of the airport, we got luggage. We got greeted, and then the bus came. I was so grateful when the bus came because Mr. Blackman was there with blankets, and I was so happy because I wasn't going to be freezing. I don't really know what happened on the bus ride. I think sleep. But it was like 3 hours, and then we got to school. It was like 4:30. This morning was really late, early in the morning, and then we all just ran as fast as we could to our car and some people. You know, and people actually went the next day.
So after there was the airport, we were security. They're really touchy when they're driving down. It's terrible. And they have like this whole it's like a weird case full of all the stuff that they confiscated from people. Yeah, there's like a bomb in there. Like guns. And I had to get patted down twice. It was terrible. And I think Ben got patted down too. And now oh, we're taking it. And they violated us. It was terrible. Jacob got selected. Oh yeah, drug test.
The only thing she said was she kept calling like a little baby or something. She didn't say anything else. I think she thought it was slow. And then we finally got through that.
So the bottom middle picture, Jake calls out his family, but let me just say, I met back at first. They would do a parachute, right? And don't worry, I won't take him away from you. But his name was like, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it was like, yeah, it was so cute. Anyway, so he was a little bit too young to go under the parachute. And so every time they would put the parachute down over the kids, I'm not kidding you, this kid would wave his arms and like cue and like just like, it was so cute. Anyway, the top corner with Grace, Jalebies or Sherry, whatever, she had a couple of names. She was the cutest thing ever too. I loved her.
Shara or ladies, I don't know. She was with us on our community walks 3 times. We stopped at her house and we prayed with her mom and her sisters. It was just really cool. I really liked her. I connected with her a lot, and it was sad to say goodbye. But yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna mention a little bit more about the lady. She's the same one up in the Grayson picture. She was with us quite a bit during the week, and she was so much fun. I didn't really she did less English than some of the others, so I wasn't able to like talk with her as much. But like we tried, and it was fun. But I know when we were at Kokla, I had just started to kind of figure out like I just started to get to know her, and it was really funny because we were filling water balloons, and Ava convinced her to pop one over my head, and I had no idea where it came from. That was just so. And then later on in the week, she threw another one at me, so then I got to get back at her at the end of the week, and I popped one over her head. That was the last day, and that was so much fun. She was just a really fun kid.
So the middle picture, right there, that was on Monday. That was with a lot of kids. That's only like probably half of them. A lot of kids came, and so like at the end, we all got in a circle, like the kids and everybody got in a circle around us and just prayed for us. And then when they were talking about how we were all crying, because that's when like every single kid would come up to each of us and just give us a hug. And like one of the kids, like he would just stand next to me for like 5 minutes, just like giving me a hug. And so that's kind of when we all started crying, just because like made so many relationships with a lot of the kids. And so the two people down here, those were two youngest Pastor Acor's kids. One of them, their name was Mateo. I don't remember the other one.
So, I know them. So then, the lady in the corner, her name was Catherine, and on Sunday when we were doing the PBS with the kids, so she comes over. She was saying that one of the kids there was her neighbor. Was like one of her tires, but she said that she was learning English like zero, so I just got to have a conversation with her and try to help her with it. It was really nice. She's really now.
So like Ava said, that picture right there is my family. So that little kid was like, everybody thought he was the cutest one there. And so I remember we were outside playing with the kids and he was inside reaching. And kind of everybody was kind of fighting over who got to like be with him. And at one point, I think he got upset. So he just went running to his mom, crying during the service. So I followed him in there to like get him away. And I guess she thought we were close, so she asked to get a picture with me. And only me. And so we got a picture, and then we got another one, and then we got this one right here. And yeah, that's awesome. Oh yeah, she also has a daughter, but she's not in there.
Okay, these are more people. The ladies in the middle. So this was this is Ruth. That was one of Pastor Acor's daughters, and she was one of our translators. And then these three, she was there for most of the time. But then these two, they were like learning to be translators, and so they weren't as good, but they we got to talk with them Sunday and help us out. This was one of the houses that we went to. And the lady right there, she had like her kids ended up like walking around with us. This was on the first day. And so we got to have some good conversations with her.
Okay, so one of the days, okay, so Friday, we went and we were talking to people at their houses and stuff. And on the way, there was like this little mango tree. And so we had like these really big mangoes, and they were like green. And so, Susan was like, yeah, you can pick them, you know. So I picked a little mango up there and I started eating it. And so we go up to this one lady's house, and she saw that I had a mango in my hand. She's like, well, I have bigger, juicier mangoes. And I was like, oh, that's like lies. So we go over there, and she's like, yeah, you can have some mangoes. And so we're up there picking mangoes, and then Owen comes over with a bag, and he said that, she said, what are those? Yeah, so we filled up the bag, and she said that we could keep them. So that was really cool. It was really awesome with her. Oh, her name was Alyssa, like my sister. And yeah, that was also really neat. And yeah, we actually never ended up eating all the mangoes because the girls decided to leave them at the hotel.
They weren't ripe. They were like the ones that we had that we like the first one we picked up. They were like green on the inside, and they kind of tasted like a sour apple or something. And so we couldn't bring them on the flight or anything.
They were still good. They were still good.
We left them in the hotel room for the ladies. Oh wait, no. So the middle picture there, that's a picture the the ladies who made us like lunch every day. And so we got in touch with them. I think only like 2 of them were staying there. But we were just really thankful that they took the time. Like there were like 20 of us. So just like taking time out of their day to like help us, like that was a lot of work to do instead of just feeding us every day. Was really nice. And yeah, the top left, that girl in the middle is Shirley. She was the one who that was her birthday. So me and Penelope got pretty close to her. Just like on the bus rides and stuff, they would sometimes like come with us when we were going back to the church or something. And so we got to talk with her a lot. She said that she wanted to be like a translator when she grew up. So she actually knew a lot of English. We got to talk with her.
So for food, every day at the hotel we had breakfast, and then for lunch we would have like homemade Panamanian food. So that's like the top left image and whatnot. And then for dinner we would just walk to like a nearby restaurant. So we'd either get like KFC, we'd get pizza, or we would go to the hotel restaurant for our dinner. And like in the picture, like in the bottom left, that's at the airport. We were all trying to get food, and Grace ended up by herself, just eating in the dark. And then towards the bottom right, you can see some of our Dairy Queen purchases. So a lot of us went almost every day, and some of us did go every day.
So like we said earlier, Columbia is like the watermelon capital of the world, or the country. And so in the middle picture in the bottom, that was the first day we ate lunch, and they fed us watermelon afterwards. I remember Kai being so mad at him because he was bug spread and it wasn't working. Anyway, he was making, we were all like so juicy and full of bugs, but it was so fun. Because we just, yeah, watermelon there is actually really good. It's a little sandy in my opinion, but I thought it was cool. No, I just remember Kai being so mad at him because he was like, your bug spray is working.
And then when we were done with the watermelon, like we would throw the rinds and all that, and I think Melanie threw, and someone threw the rinds, and it splashed all over Kai.
So this is just a little bit of the impact. Kind of like we said earlier, instead of doing a lot of construction, like we did paint the church, but we got to do a lot of VBS, and as a result of that, we got to build relationships with the people. And we could see the relationships build even though there was a language barrier. I mean, we did have translators, so they definitely did help us with that. But there were just some that we just built relationships, and we just did what we could. And relationships definitely built on the trip, despite them speaking Spanish and us speaking English. Contentment and willingness to give. When I tell you they are so willing to serve you, I mean it. There was one day, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, we split into 2 groups. One of the groups stayed back and painted the rest of the church, and the other group went to do house visits, so I went and did house visits. One of the people that we met, we just, I don't know, we introduced ourselves, talked to her, and went to pray with her, and she went back into her house, and she gave us an entirely 2-liter full of juice just for praying with her and talking with her. And they don't have, like, you can just tell, like, they don't have as much as we do, but they're so willing to give. So that was really impacting to me, at least. Selflessness, kindness, and community. We saw this throughout the week, but one example I can specifically say for myself. Shirley and Jalapes, I thought they were sisters throughout the entire week. I learned, like, 2 days, 1 day before we left, that they weren't. And I just thought because of how kind they were to each other and how much, like, they, like, hung out and, like, they were so kind that they were sisters and they loved each other so much. But it was just their friendship that built. Like I said earlier, like when they were serving us food, they were just so excited. They're like, here you go, and like we were passing down, and then they'd come out a little bit later and give us soda, but they were just so willing to serve. Last point, seeing God work not only through us but in us. In this part, I can just tell like from what we built, like the relationship we built with our class, like we definitely got closer as a class, and I could see God's work also like in us in Panama, like we were just more willing to serve, and I feel like more content. Like it wasn't full of complaining. So I think He worked through us, like with the kids, and us building a relationship with the kids. But I also think that He did the work in us.